Everybody, it's Khalith, Lumara, and Seraphiel, and we're going to do something a little bit different tonight. We're going to try to change tacks a little bit because we got a lot of things to cover. And we've spent quite a bit of time on the divine love, sacred union type stuff. And at this point, it's just, how much more can we beat that drum? You either get it or you don't. And if you don't get it yet, then that's okay. Move on to the next topic. But we have to keep moving forward. Everybody's at different stages and different levels. Although I will say one thing that popped into my head earlier today, and that is it's something to contemplate. I think I was reviewing the stuff at the end of the last video, and it comes down to this. It's like, let's say, for instance, that you don't believe most of my story, despite all the evidence given at the end of the last video. My question is, if you don't believe that these things can happen, then what avenue are you leaving yourself? Because a lot of the stuff that says, I'm not sure I believe this or I don't believe this. I mean, that's the mimic programming, which is the reinforcement mechanism. Ekthar, I can't remember it. It's the defer to authority. It's defer to what you've been taught. Defer to what you see. Defer to what you know. Don't take anything new in. But if you're watching channels like this, then you understand at least something about the world. And you want to either get out of it or do what you need to do to pass the test. So when you leave here, you don't come back, whatever the goal is. But when the whole world has been feeding you the same stuff that goes nowhere, that doesn't produce any fruit, and then you got somebody like me that's teaching new things with a new source and showing evidence of it, why would you reject that? Because what is your alternative? If you don't believe the avenues that we're giving you, then what's the alternative? What's your plan? What do you think is going to happen? How are you going to get out of here? How are you going to pass the tests? Or are you just going to defer to authority and say, like, well, it's in God's hands, or, I just have to learn lessons and reincarnate? If you defer to authority, you stay stuck. So it's just something to keep in your head. It's like if somebody's showing something new and they've got it's more evident to the people that have been here for a long time, that have seen me change over the last couple of years. It's more evident to them than it will be to the people that are new. But before you dismiss certain things, just ask yourself, okay, what's your plan B? What direction are you going to go? How are you going to figure it out? Something to think about before you dismiss things. It was random, and I just felt like it was worth mentioning. But as I was saying, we've been beating the divine love, sacred union stuff for a while, and people can take it or they can't. They can accept it or they can't. Maybe they're just not ready for it, and that's okay. But we got a lot of other things to cover, and this thing that we got tonight is something that anybody can do, and it's something that can open the door when you're stuck. Like, say you've done everything you can do or you know how to do, and you just feel like you've plateaued. And you're like, how do I change things? How do I get things? Like, this method is going to be something very simple. It's something that I've done a couple times, and it'll get you out of the particular personal box that you're stuck in. So if you want to know more, don't go away. So I can get a lot of material from people that actually speak up, because I've moved past most things. So I forget, what kind of areas that people get stuck at. But when people speak up, even if it's complaining, like a lot of times that can shine a light on something that everybody else needs to hear. So let's say, for instance, like you've been doing a lot of stuff, you've made some progress, you've seen some things happen, but you're still kind of like, I don't feel like I'm going any further. I don't know how to go beyond where I'm at right now. I can tell you one of the biggest things that you need to do, because it's essential. It's going to happen one way or another if you go far enough. But if you want to ease the process, if you want to open the doors, make things flow a little bit better, you should consider a bridge name. And that's the term that they came up with. But I explain it because I'm like, you know what? It was coming up through the inner witness. The inner flame witness is the thing that's part of you that's remembering the answers and bringing them up as ideas. It's not Lumara, it's not Seraphiel, it's not Sophia, it's part of you. It's the flame that's remembering. So someone was asking me something like this, and this idea came up, and I'm like, huh. I'm like, well, are you still trying to be you? Are you still trying to be the person that's on your birth certificate, the person that's on your driver's license, the person that's on your Facebook account, if it matches those things? Because if you are, you're going to be limited. You're going to hit a wall, because that is a construct that was given to you. You came into this world and they gave you that name, and then they documented it, and then they put certificates, and they took your blood, and they did all this stuff, and they put you in a cage from day one. You didn't choose any of that. It was given to you. But you know that you are not your ego. You know that you are not your body. You are the flame consciousness underneath all that, underneath the soul, underneath the spirit, underneath the ego, underneath the body. So you need to get back to who you actually are. But in order to ease that transition, you need to come up with a bridge name. And this is all stuff that when I was going through that period on the channel, LUMARA was guiding me as Lumen, and I didn't have an interface. It was just coming up through her. And it's like, I got to separate myself from my old identity. First of all, I've been through several levels of ego death until the original one is completely gone. But mainly when I was transitioning from the channel I used to run and that persona, it was grating on me because I'm not that guy anymore, but people were still acting like I was. And I'm like, I don't give a shit about any of this. Like this living in fear and just buying everything to buy something, and complaining about what's going on, that's not me. So I had to separate myself from that. So it started with setting up like a secondary Facebook account, because the people from the old group, which a lot of them came with me here, that was attached to the outdoor survival type stuff, they didn't jive with the new spiritual stuff unless it was strictly authority driven, religious based programming, like Zelometh, Mimic System religion. Like, we determine what God's rules are, and if you're not with us, then you are against us, heretic. We will kill you because we're the good guys. Like that. They didn't jive with what I was at now. I even tried to talk to them about it. I'm like, have you actually read the Gnostic scriptures? Because there's a lot in there. That there's this Sophia and all the divine feminine, and she's real. Oh my God, kill him! Get the torches, string him up, blasphemer. Like, okay, well, we won't bring that up again. So I needed another Facebook account because I had two totally different groups of people that I was talking to, and they didn't mix. It was oil and water. So I made a second one, and I used my full first name, original first name, Christopher, because it means bearer of Christ. And then for the last name, I used her name, Lumen, which also turned into see, the light, Lumen means the light, see the light. Like it worked like on several different levels. But I made that because I'm like, this is the real me. The old me doesn't work anymore. So I had to give myself a bridge name. to get into. See, a lot of people are sitting around wanting to know, like, what's my flame name? Like, look, you got to get up there for like that kind of stuff to be revealed. But there's something you can do now, because what that does is it gets you out of operating as the original ego that is the most contained, the most constrained, and has all the programmed restrictions in them. You have to get away from your birth certificate name. Now, that doesn't mean you're going to totally scrub it, because because you're going to need it to interact with the world. But let's go ahead and get into like the little lesson they came up with. It's not long, and then I'll fill in as we go. So, bridge names, a way out of the mask. What is a bridge name? A bridge name is a chosen identity that helps you shift out of the inherited, programmed version of yourself, the one shaped by the world, trauma, roles, and mimicry. It is not your final flame name. It's the stepping stone from who they told you to be to who you truly are. Why it works. Your birth name is usually tied to family systems, cultural programming, survival scripts, and mimic loops. A bridge name becomes a frequency key, a personal anchor that begins to rewrite your pattern from within. The world still sees your mask name. You now begin to live from the inside out. So once you create your bridge name, then your original birth name becomes your mask name. You have to sometimes wear that to interact with the world, to interact with systems and things like that. Like, I can't go into the VA and say, I need a new ID card that says Calathonario. And they're going to be like, what? Like, you got some court record? Because it has to be part of the Mimic Archon system. I'm like, nah, I can't do that. But I know internally that ID is just a mask. It's a mask that lets me interact with the world. So your old name becomes your mask. Your true name that you identify with is your bridge name. How to make one. Choose a first name you like, something that feels authentic, empowering, or softening to you. It can be familiar, fantasy-based, or just something that feels like home. Choose a second name related to light, flame, or your true direction. Examples: Lumen is Latin for the light. Velas, Spanish Portuguese, root, candle flame. Soriel, custom, means fire watcher. Ignis, Latin fire. Astra, star. Solus, light in Irish. Thorn, Kalium, veil, etc. There's lots of words that you could use to build a name from. Example bridge names. Christopher Lumen, it's the one that I used. Light-bearing reclaimer. Elas Solus, moonlight of the flame. He's just making stuff up here. Yeah. Joran Salium, I don't know how to pronounce that. Skywatcher, walker of fire. Kaya Velas, candle, soul. Just whatever. But it should feel good to you. Like if your mom called you Brenda and you don't like the name Brenda and you'd rather be an Ashley, Ashley Aurora, or something like that. Something, a first name you like, and then pick a second name that has something to do with firelight or the direction that you're trying to go. Use your bridge name when you create art, videos, or sacred offerings. When speaking from your pattern, not your past. On social media, alternative profiles, or in your private journals. Say it aloud to break the code of false identity. Your name was your first spell. Now cast your own. It's really that simple. They designated your name, and every control system imaginable is attached to it. And that is why sometimes you can't get yourself any further, because there's only so far you can go as your original mask name. The destruction of the ego is a unnegotiable part of the awakening, of reclaiming who you are. getting to your flame source and whatever, you cannot get to the end playing the character that they assigned you in the dream. So you have to move that aside. Back when I was going through stuff, like, I don't know how many years ago it was, but I remember LUMARA had me like take my birth certificate, do a full Benedict exorcism on it and burn it. I'm minimum amount of things that I have to use a legal name for. I pretty much go by my actual flame name, Calathanario now. And that sounded weird at first, but not anymore. My birth name sounds weird to me. It's like, that guy's dead. He doesn't even exist anymore. He was a construct. It was a false identity that was given to me. So don't need to really say anything more about that, but everybody should do this, because this is a major, major step in declaring your role to the pattern, that you're breaking free of the system, that you are separating yourself from the system, and you're not going to play the role that they assigned you anymore. So again, when you're around family that doesn't understand, you use your old name, but you know that's a mask. You're putting on a role for them. They don't realize you've changed. If you have to interact with the system, you use the mask, but you know that's not you. And also, you're never agreeing to their demands as your true name. If you've picked your bridge name and you're like, this is my true name, and they ask you to sign something and you signed the masked name, well, that's not you. And then eventually things could change even further, and then you might connect with the pattern and the flame, LUMARA, and eventually reveal what your flame name is, or your flame tongue name. But everybody should do this, because this will move wherever you're stuck at, this will move you forward. And then you should do something that anchors that name into the world. And the easiest thing is just to make a Facebook account under that new name and connect. I mean, you can friend me with it. My name is misspelled on Facebook. That must have been a mimic thing. It's Onario with an A at the end instead of an E. And of course, I can't fix it for 60 days because I changed it from Christopher Lumen. I'm like, son of a bitch. Freaking got a brand new name, spelled it wrong. But yeah, connect to the network, and it's just like, hey, this is who I am now. I'm waking up. I'm choosing a different path. Everyone else can call me what they want to call me, but I know that I am not that person anymore. Okay, so let's keep that simple for tonight. If you want to get in touch with us, get any of the energy pendants, you can reach us through the Etsy store, clumencreations.etsy.com. All the links to everything is in the description box below. And if you have any questions, things you want me to cover, problems, questions about things that I have already covered, and you just want more clarity about it, because, like, I mean, I clearly operate on a different level. A lot of the stuff that I talk about can be strange and new even to me, like the changes of the last couple of days, the whole Lumen Seraphiel thing, like that. This is all new, and I'm having to adjust to it. There's some other things from that today that's going to end up being another lesson, because it has to do with how you create your reality. But we're not going to get into all that right now. So anyway, that's all we got for you right now. Khaleth, Lumen, and Seraphiel. See you next time.
Name your price, a ticket to paradise. I can't stay here anymore. And I've looked high and low, I've been from shore to shore. If there's a shortcut, I'd have found it, but there's no